Hi, this is Kiran. In this module of electricity and magnetism, let us discuss about Gauss's law applications. In particular, electric field due to a plane sheet of charge density sigma, as well as electric field due to a charged conducting surface of charge density sigma. But before going to discuss about these two cases, try to understand what is charged sheet and what is a charged surface. Try to observe the video carefully now. That is, electric field due to a plane sheet of charge density sigma. Here you will be finding a charged sheet. Yes, there is a charged sheet. Just adjacent to that, let us consider a point. Yes, at that point, the electric field is, how much is the electric field here in this case? E is equals to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Even the result is independent of how far the point is, independent of the parameter, the distance between the point and the sheet. Just adjacent to that, the electric field is sigma by 2 epsilon naught. But in the second case, electric field due to a charged conducting surface of charge density sigma. Here we are going to discuss about charged conducting surface of what? A charged block. Let us observe carefully. Yes, there is a charged block, but it is conducting. In the earlier modules also we discussed, if we consider a conducting material, the charge accumulates on the surface. Now here it is a conducting block which is given some charge, but the charge is accumulated on the surface. So here, with respect to a charged conducting surface of charge density sigma, adjacent to that, let us consider a point. At that point, how much is the electric field? The electric field is E bar is equals to sigma by epsilon naught. Sigma by epsilon naught. So now here, in the first case, with respect to a plane sheet, adjacent to the sheet, the electric field is sigma by 2 epsilon naught. With respect to a charged conducting surface, adjacent to the surface, the electric field is sigma by epsilon naught. The two results differ. Able to understand? Now we do prove that two results. Let us prove the results one by one. As of the first case, electric field due to a plane sheet of charge density sigma. Let us consider the plane sheet of charge density sigma. Yes, there is a plane sheet of charge density sigma. Now, as usual, adjacent to that, there will be a point. At that point, how much is the electric field? Of course, we know the result. We are proving it now. That is E bar. Just adjacent to that sheet, there is a point. Now, to find the electric field at that point, we are going to consider a Gaussian cylinder. Observe the video carefully. Yes, there is a Gaussian cylinder. Now, before going to apply that Gauss law, to apply Gauss law, what must be the consideration? Inside the closed surface, there must be some charges. Here in the diagram, you can observe that. Here in the diagram, you can observe that there is no charge inside the Gaussian cylinder. What you considered, isn't it? Now, to get that charge inside the Gaussian cylinder, On the other side also, you can imagine a part of Gaussian cylinder. Yes. Now, when you consider the Gaussian cylinder on the other side also, very obviously you can say that there is some charge accumulated, there is some charge locked inside the Gaussian cylinder. Yes. With respect to that Gaussian cylinder, there is a right side lid, there is a left side lid, there is lateral surface area. Now, what we did so far, there is a plane sheet of charge density sigma given. Adjacent to that, there is a point given. We are finding the electric field at that point. For that, we have considered a Gaussian cylinder. But before going to consider the Gaussian cylinder, please check it will penetrate through the charged sheet so that a part of the charge locks inside the cylinder. Now, through the lateral surface area, there is no flux. There is no flux. Through the right side lid, there is flux. Through the left side lid, there is flux. Now, through the lateral surface area, there is no flux at all. Why? With respect to that lateral surface area, the area vector is perpendicular to the field vector. What field? The electric field vector. So cos 90 becomes 0 in the application of Gauss law. Now, through the left side lid, there is some flux. Through the right side lid, there is some flux. Now, how much is the charge locked inside the cylinder? How much is the charge locked inside the cylinder? How much is that? What is the area of cross section? Area of cross section of that cylinder is pi r square, where r is the radius of that cylinder. What we considered? Pi r square. What is the charge density? Sigma. So pi r square sigma, the charge is locked inside the Gaussian cylinder. So charge inside the Gaussian cylinder is pi r square sigma. Now, flux total is equals to flux 1, flux 2, flux 3. Flux 1 is through right lid. Flux 1 is through right lid. So phi 1 is equals to circular integral of E bar ds bar. That is equals to E bar circular integral of ds bar cos theta. What is theta here? 0 degrees. Because the electric field direction and the area vector of lid direction is same. So now flux 1 is equals to phi 1 is equals to E bar circular integral of ds cos 0 degrees, that is equals to E bar. What is circular integral of ds? The total area of that lid, that is pi r square. So by all means, phi 1 is equals to E bar pi r square into 1. Now phi 2 of left lid is same as that. So phi 2 is equals to E bar pi r square 1. But the direction is left side. Now, through the lateral surface area, is there any flux passing through the lateral surface area? No, there is no flux. There is no single line of electricity is passing through lateral surface area. So flux 3 is equals to 0 because lateral surface area, with respect to lateral surface area vector is along the surface but perpendicular to the electric field. Electric field is horizontal. There is a sheet. With respect to that sheet, the electric field is horizontal. The lateral surface area is perpendicular to the electric field. So now phi 3 is equals to 0. Cos 90 is 0. Now applying Gauss law. Flux total is equals to flux 1 through right lid, flux 2 through left lid, flux 3 through lateral surface area. So phi total is equals to phi 1 plus phi 2 plus phi 3. Now here, what is flux total? Q in by epsilon naught. What is Q in here? Already we considered some charge inside that Gaussian cylinder. How much is the charge inside that Gaussian cylinder? Pi r square sigma. So now pi r square sigma by epsilon naught is equals to 2 E bar pi r square, which implies E bar is equals to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. So now with respect to this plane sheet, adjacent to that electric field is E bar is equals to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Now electric field due to a charged conducting surface of charge density sigma. Now let us consider a charged conducting block. Charged conducting block. It is a conducting block. So the entire charge accumulates on the surface. Now adjacent to a surface of charge density sigma, consider a point. At that point, let us find the electric field. Now here, to find the electric field at that point, we are going to consider the Gaussian cylinder once again. The Gaussian cylinder, here in this case, need not to penetrate on the other side. It is enough to penetrate till the extent of some charge locks inside it. Consider a Gaussian cylinder, but check it will penetrate through the charged surface so that just a part of charge locks inside the cylinder. Need not to penetrate onto the other side. Observe the video carefully now. Yes, there is a Gaussian cylinder. Here in this case, we are not considering the Gaussian cylinder on the other side. The Gaussian cylinder, the penetration stopped in the middle of the conducting block because there is already some charge inside in it. There is already some charge inside in it. Now, through the lateral surface area, there is no flux because electric field is horizontal. Through the lateral surface area, I mean with respect to that lateral surface area, the area vector and electric field, they are perpendicular. In the application of Gauss law, cos 90 becomes 0. So no flux through the lateral surface area. Now there is some right side lid and there is some lid inside the core. Through right side lid there is flux, there is electric field, but through the lid which is inside the core there is no electric field because Already we know in the earlier modules we learnt it with respect to a conducting material. Inside the material electric field is 0. With respect to a conducting material, inside the material electric field is 0. We learnt it in the earlier modules. Now, inside the conducting core, the electric field is 0. Of course, explained in the earlier modules. So here, with respect to this Gaussian cylinder, there is right side lid, there is a lid inside the core, there is lateral surface area. Now, charge inside that Gaussian cylinder is, how much is the charge locked inside that Gaussian cylinder? Through what surface the Gaussian cylinder is being penetrated there? Through the area pi r square. What is the charge density? Sigma. So how much is the charge inside that Gaussian cylinder? That is pi r square sigma. This pi r square sigma is charge inside the Gaussian cylinder. Now, before going to this application of Gauss laws, flux total is equals to flux 1 plus flux 2 plus flux 3. Flux 1 through right lid, through right side lid, flux 1 is equals to circular integral of E bar ds bar, that is equals to E bar circular integral of ds bar cos 0 degrees. What is this 0? With respect to this right side lid, surface vector, area vector is parallel to electric field vector. See in which direction the area vector with respect to right lid, that is right side. In which direction the electric field is right side. So the angle between them is 0 degrees, cos 0 degrees. That is equals to E bar into pi r square. What is this pi r square? Circular integral of ds bar. Of what? Of the right lid. Now, flux 2. Flux 2 is with respect to left side lid. Where is that left side lid? It is inside the core. Inside the core of what? Of the conducting material. Inside any conducting material, the electric field is 0. Already we know that. Here, in this case, electric field is 0. So finally, the flux through that left lid is 0. Now, flux through lateral surface area is also 0. In which direction the lateral surface area vector vertical? In which direction the electric field is horizontal? The angle between them is 90 degrees. So flux 3 is equals to 0. Now, applying Gauss laws. Flux total is equals to flux 1 plus flux 2 plus flux 3. That is Qn by epsilon naught is equals to E pi r square plus 0 plus 0. How much is Qn here? Qn is pi r square sigma. In the above step, already we considered. How much is the charge locked inside that Gaussian cylinder? That is pi r square sigma. What is sigma here? Charge density. What is pi r square here? The penetration cross section. Pi r square sigma is the charge locked inside that Gaussian cylinder. So Qn is pi r square sigma. Qn by epsilon naught is equals to E bar pi r square, implies that pi r square sigma by epsilon naught is equals to E bar pi r square, implies that E bar is equals to sigma by epsilon naught. Sigma by epsilon naught. So, briefing the topic with respect to a plane sheet. Adjacent to a plane sheet, the electric field is sigma by 2 epsilon naught. With respect to a surface, adjacent to a surface of charge density sigma, the electric field is sigma by epsilon naught. Hope you understood well. All the best for your preparation.